Heck yeah, dude. Oh, I just realized. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm not a very organized person. I have a ton of tabs open on my.
It's
I don't
okay.
think you're a designer if you don't have like
You
16
know,
tabs open at all time.
you
and
know,
like
I'll just say that's the first thing I noticed.
Thank you for being a pal.
What's up, pals, and welcome back to another episode of Pentool Pals, a friendly graphic design podcast between two graphic designers. My name's Cole from Cole F Design.
And I'm Canvas Cam from Canvas Design Company. Welcome back to the podcast. We're checking the mics. We're gearing up. We're making the cameras hot. We're ready to go.
You're like hot, Cam.
I try.
Thanks, dude.
I'm thickness with the business. I don't know what that meant, but let's go with it.
Oh man, another week on the pod. Thanks for joining us.
Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, hope your start to your new year has been awesome. Ours has, mine has. How's your week been so far, Cam?
It's good. It's good. Right before the new year, I was having a little bit of a what's it called? Imposter syndrome. I was
A rut.
A rut. I was in a rut. I was just, it's one of those moments, and we all have these moments where I was broke after the holidays. The holidays broke my mental.
Shopping.
Yeah. And, but I set a goal for myself to make a certain amount of money after the new year, and I hit my goal, and I'm stoked. I had a positive mindset. I didn't let anything stress me out too much. And, I'm good. I've got a good amount of jobs on my desk. I'm stoked. We're going to the new year strong, and I don't have any jobs that bum me out right now. And that's rare. So I'm stoked.
That's awesome. That's a really good thing.
How about you, man?
Yeah, this week's been great. I tested the waters in a new space that I haven't been in before and launched some NFTs.
I saw that. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, if you're interested in that space, check out my collection. It's called Fwends, Fwends. It's a collection of just a diverse group of characters, all ranging in different aspects of the life or popular culture. And it's really just to give a finger to basically all the bullshit, and to stand your ground and give and to never give into that type of bullshit, and really express your feelings, express what's on your mind, and believe in what you believe. And it's just kind of a fun way of twisting it. It's all positive, and become a friend and join the community.
There you go. Become a friend. Hey, be a pal and become a friend.
Yeah, exactly. Someone may see the connection there. So as you know, every week we showcase an artist that went ahead and made some sort of creation for the podcast. The possibilities are endless. Go crazy with it. We're looking for next week's Pal of the Week. So if you got some time today, create something. Get crazy with it. Have fun with it. And we're stoked to see what you come up with.
Yeah. This week we had Daphna. She was a previous guest towards the end of the year. She created some incredible artwork just to promote the podcast. And so that was this Monday's. Thank you, Daphna, for doing that. I wanted to take a second to talk about something new that we're doing this year. It's called Pentool Pals Workshop. It's a Facebook group, and basically the idea behind it is to literally just have a community of designers posting, asking for advice, getting critiques. No egos in this group. This is all to help others to improve their skills and just be pals of the pod in this contained little universe we call Pentool Pals Workshop. So if you want to be a part of it, shoot us an email, shoot us a DM, go to our Pentool Pals Facebook page, be a part of the group. We'd love to have you. And like I said, thank you for being a pal and no egos.
But yeah, who do we got on the pod this week, Cam?
All right. Today on the podcast, we have Micheal Fugoso, Fugstrator on Instagram. We're really stoked to have him on the podcast, talk about Adobe Max, amongst other things, his texturing, his Skillshare course. That's interesting.
Yeah, Michael's got an amazing process. His artworks and layering is just insane. Like the detail he puts into it, and he has this 3D effect that I would say is totally unique to his own style. So it'd be great to chat with him, and we're gonna go through his process and talk about his design work and design in general. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Super stoked. It's gonna be a good podcast.
Well, without further ado, let's get him in the chat.
What's up, dudes?
What's up, dude?
What's up, homies?
There you go.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. I just I put my Microsoft Outlook on Do Not Disturb, so I
Nice.
don't get the work.
I need
Things
to put
coming
my
in.
dogs on Do Not Disturb.
Oh man,
If only.
I know, right?
are you both in San Diego?
No,
Close.
I'm in Bakersfield.
And I'm in Southern California. I'm in like Orange County area.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You're in Austin, Texas, right?
Yeah, but I'm from San Diego. I lived in
Okay.
San Diego for like 30 something years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you?
And I just moved here a couple of years ago to Austin.
Nice. How is it over there?
It's good. I like it. I think you guys would like it too. It's my favorite part about it so far is that it's a bit cheaper than it
Yeah.
is in San Diego. But everything is, like the food's better in San Diego.
Mhm.
Oh, Austin people's gonna hate me, but like food's better in San Diego.
Yeah, I heard that there's just like a lot of barbecue that's phenomenal, but everything else is like just okay.
It's like what do you call it? Like hipster food? Like hipster food's better in San Diego too.
Yeah, I can
You know what I mean?
imagine.
And like tacos. They talk about the tacos here. All right, I'm not talking shit about the tacos here. All right, they're pretty good,
Mhm.
but dude, you can't beat SoCal.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
unless you go to Mexico. or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm a huge like Indian and Thai food kind of guy, and I hear that there's not a lot of good places. There are places in Texas and in Austin, but there's not like, it's not like traditional.
Yeah, right. I say Thai food's pretty good here.
Okay, okay,
Maybe they got a little bit of some Vietnamese food's pretty good here too.
okay.
It's just not as good as San Diego.
Yeah.
If I'm being
Gotcha.
completely honest. And stuff.
I'm a big food guy, so we're
Yeah.
we're talking about food right now. and I
Pentool
just-
Pals is bringing in the hard-hitting questions everyone needs to know about Thai
now,
food. Indian
now
food.
sponsored by Thai food, all of it.
Oh yeah, dude,
Let's-
food trucks too. It's all about food trucks here.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, okay, it's cool and all, but now you got to pay food truck prices for
Yeah,
everything.
for
So,
sure.
anyway,
let's roll into the hard-hitting questions
Yeah.
about
I'm
what
sorry,
type of
guys.
what
I'm
type of
like-
Oh, good.
I'm
what
stuck
type
on
of
the food
toppings you
stuff.
put on your tacos.
Oh, there you go.
I'm kidding. Okay, I'm kidding. Talk to us a bit about your experience in San Diego. Is that where your journey with design started, or what was the move to Austin about, or what's everywhere in between? Really,
Everything.
What made you run away? No,
Oh, what made me run away, man?
no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, okay. Well, I just want to make it clear that I love both San Diego and Austin. I love Austin so far. I just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
So, I was born in San Diego and I lived there almost my whole life. I was not into design my whole life. I was studying to be a banker and stuff.
Crazy. Okay.
And I studied to be an engineer and failed out of that. And then I went to business school at San Diego State. And then I kind of just coasted through that, you know what I mean? And then found a job at a bank, and then eventually found a job at like a real estate company. And then I was like, this sucks because I suck at it, because I hate it. And then my girlfriend dumped me. And then when I felt the rock bottom stuff, that's when I went to design school at like age 29. I like to say age 30 just because it sounds cooler. I went to design school at age 30. And then I had this 5-year plan. I'm just gonna get heads down. I used to like drawing Dragon Ball Z, so I think that could help me in design school. So get heads down, 5 years, and then see what I do. And then and that's when everything kicked off. I studied web design at the school called Platt College. It's like it starts off as graphic design, and then they make you do web design.
Yeah, I've heard of Platt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, were you thinking about going there?
No, there was a couple of closer ones. There's LCAT, or there's what's the popular one in Los Angeles?
FITM.
FITM is
It's
yeah.
well,
FITM,
I guess it's a fashion school. They have a graph.
yeah.
I almost went to FITM, so
Oh, really?
yeah, they have a whole graphic design thing, but it wasn't when I went to my orientation. It wasn't anything about logos or apparel. It was for like clothing design and design in that space, but it was anything what I wanted to do. That, and I was only going because my girlfriend at the time was going to FITM, but
Gotcha.
yeah.
Oh man.
yeah.
Well,
We should
Michael,
talk about design school.
so you
later.
you found your way away from the corporate world and into art, and you knew that you liked Dragon Ball Z drawings, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, maybe I have a shot at this. Like, let's give it a crack. What was like the very foundation of that? Were you like, I'm going to start an Instagram page and just post some art that I like to do, or how did that start?
Well, just a little bit before that, like the thing about going to design school is like everyone was telling me to study web design.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They're
Mhm.
like, you got to do, that's the only way you're going to get a job. You got to do web. You got to do, and then that eventually turned into like UX, user experience design and stuff,
Mhm.
which is great. Like, but I just remembered like I graduated in web design, and then I got a job as a front end web developer designer type thing. I was like, this is no different from my banking jobs. It's like I don't enjoy doing this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and then like this business guru dude, who I think he was, I didn't even know his real name. I think he was like, I don't even know where he is now, you know, but I talked to this business, I talked to this business guru dude. His name was Carlisle. So if he hears this, maybe he'll hit me up and tell me what his real name
You're
is.
right. That doesn't sound like a real name at all. That sounds like a last name.
Hey, Carlisle. It's even hard to say too.
Yeah,
You know
a little
what I mean? Yeah, but but the good thing about meeting him was he's like, he was just telling me like, you got to do the stuff that, you know, you got to remember why you did the things that you did.
Yeah.
I went to design school to have a career that I enjoy. So he's the one that brought this whole illustration side out. And while I was working as this front end developer for the SanDiego airport, I was building up the Instagram stuff. So that's where the Instagram stuff started.
Cool.
That's awesome,
dude.
I mean, it's great. I mean, it's funny how these things happen where one way or another it leads you into becoming a freelance graphic artist. And I mean, it seems like you've seen success just from the start of posting your work. I mean, it's phenomenal, and it's so different from what I see. You know, we talk about having artists on the show and scrolling through their pages and automatically knowing whose art that is. You scroll past, and I think that you're definitely one of those.
Hell yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys.
What was the beginning of like your layering and texturing artwork pieces? Like, how did that start for you?
Oh man, where did that? Okay, I remember, dudes. So, like in SanDiego, I worked for this candy company, where we did candy packages called B Ink. You know,
Okay.
shout out to B Ink. And then my boss Rosa, because I was drawing everything flat. Because when I was in Platt College, they were like, oh, do everything flat because that's communicative and you can change the colors easily and it works better for packaging and whatever, all that stuff. And then like when I went to this packaging company though, this candy company, she was like, try something different, like try to making things look more realistic stuff, you know? And I was looking up realistic tutorials and stuff and found the skeuomorphic style. And that's when I started skeuomorphism and I learned lighting and shadows and stuff like that. And then, so that was like, if you scroll to the bottom of my Instagram, like I'm doing all skeuomorphic stuff for a while. And then like I hired this intern to help me out because I was teaching at Platt 2 at the time. Dude, I was trying to do all kinds of shit.
Damn.
And then my intern asked me, how do I do this paper style? Like, how do I make things look like it's cut out paper? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I'll try something out using the skeuomorphic stuff. So I kind of combined that with the flat stuff. So that's what that is. It's a combination of the skeuomorphic stuff that I did and the flat illustrations that I did. And then also looking at a bunch of DK and G stuff and then putting that together. And then that's how that paper texturing stuff
Sick.
came together.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's
crazy how like, oh, go on.
No, you go for it.
It's crazy how like our styles can develop from just like other people going, how'd you do that? And you're like, oh, I don't know. I have no idea. Like my early days of doing like illustration work and doing it in Photoshop, I would just like use my I used to have this big monoprice touchscreen tablet, and I would just like feather in things like but my background is in tattoo art. And so when I made the transition over to graphic design and illustration, I had people who wouldn't even realize that I wasn't doing on paper anymore. It's like, well, how'd you make that look kind of like 3D or whatever? What is this texture thing? Like, did you hand do that? And I'm just like, no, I'm doing graphic design now, guys. Yeah, it's amazing how like our style can develop over time and without even really realizing it.
So I get that question a lot. Like a lot of people ask me how to develop a style, and I mean my best answer to that is like just to not really think about that. You know, like it's like the more stuff that you do, you just kind of have to accept that you're in exploration mode, I guess. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
And then just do a bunch of stuff, and eventually like things will click, and you'll put stuff together. Like I said, the paper style came from these two different styles I've been doing frequently before. And it's not mine. I didn't invent paper.
No, exactly.
Style, you know? So it's like, when people ask me like, how do I develop a style? I'm like, just make a bunch of stuff. Like execution and quantity is actually a little more important than the quality side at that stage, I think. And then
repetition.
Yep. And then you'll develop that style where you can be all perfect and I don't know.
Yeah. I have to constantly remind myself that, it's like not every job is going to be super perfect. And I just have to keep trying and trying new things. And, eventually something will work out, but it's like, just keep working on it. Keep on trying to flesh out some lines and, make it work. Don't just like beat yourself up because it's not working right there in that moment. But
yeah, it's fun when you have a client that throws you a curveball of like a genre or aesthetic that you haven't tried before, and you get to kind of like, try it out on their dime kind of thing, like where it might
essentially
be a style that you wouldn't have necessarily tried before because you might be just really busy and keeping up with your own client work. But then you have someone who's going to go and say, hey, like, we love your work, we think you can hit this style. Then you're like, great, let's try it.
I have a job right now to where it's like a Spartan and a lion have to like morph into each other. And in any other case, like the guy sent me this like black and white, it's almost like a realism tattoo. And I just straight up told him, I was like, well, one, that's not my style. I can do something with this concept idea, but I'm going to make it my own. And it's going to be my own style. It's not going to be this style. And he was like, yeah, man, play with it. Blah, blah, blah. Going back to what you were saying, I'm kind of, practicing on their dime. I'm kind of stoked on what it's going to become. I don't know. I haven't even started it yet, but it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. How awesome is that? Like when a client asks you to do something that you don't typically do, like, because like you're used to making good stuff, like you're going to make it good.
Yeah.
Right.
That's for sure.
But you're also, you're getting money to problem solve for yourself also, to give you some new skills and new techniques and stuff, which is pretty awesome.
100%. That's why, like, I'm not afraid to, sometimes the ideas are just ridiculous, but I'm not afraid to take on things that I haven't done before, because it's like, I'm going to figure it out. If it's like a complicated product label or something like that, I haven't done a lot of product labels in my career, but like when I get hit up with one, it's like, I can figure it out. Do some research, look up some YouTube videos on print design and all that stuff. It's like the tools are there to figure it out. Don't contain yourself in this box just because you haven't done something before.
Right. Dude, you know what I love about, like, when I was looking at your guys' work, what I love about it is it's because you have this whole, what I can never do with my work a lot is like screen printing stuff. And when I look at your guys' stuff, I'm like, man, I wish I did more of that, so I could.
Well, it's funny. I was looking at your work and I was thinking, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
I came up with, and I think Cole's the same. We both are the beginning of our design careers were in like print and apparel and stuff. And so that's just kind of how we're geared. I do more like logos and like branding, and it does get printed on shirts and stuff most of the time. But even when I tackle like a big illustration piece, I'm always thinking, all right, how can this be printed? Limited color palette.
Yeah.
What color's the garment going to be on and stuff like that. So,
Right.
but yeah, I look at some of your stuff and I'm like, God, the layering and the texturing and stuff like that. That'd be a dope book cover or something like that.
Yeah. A lot of people tell me it's great for NFTs.
Ooh,
Really?
you should
Ooh.
definitely get into
But
that.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just don't know that world yet. So that's
Me either.
I really
I'm
don't
so
talk yet.
lost.
I'm just starting to figure it out.
But see, Cole, you're tackling it the right way. You made NFTs so you can learn on the go.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't know
Right.
everything, then you partner with someone who does, and then
You're
that
putting
way
it into action, where I'm just kind of just making theories in my head.
Yeah,
I
dude, I'm
remember-
the same.
I remember like even before I was Cool F Design, I just had my personal account and I followed like a handful of artists where I started seeing that like there is a community of artists on Instagram showcasing their work, and it is a little bit closer. And you were one of those people that I stumbled on it so early. Like you're one of those people that I follow on both of my personal and my my art account. And I remember specifically when you did the illustration of the DeLorean and then you went into depth. I don't know either if it was on your story or if it was like in the same slide that you showed like your progress shots of how you're doing it. And I was like, how the hell is this guy? How is his computer not exploding right now with the amount of detail that he's putting into this artwork? And
For sure.
it was totally stylistic and it was just crazy.
I could tell you that like a lot of that like heavy detail vector style stuff is very unpractical as far as like yeah, like once I get done with a project like that, like I'm moving an object on Illustrator and it's like
not even moving,
like
right?
Yeah. So like but then there's workarounds to it though, like you can save part of it and then flatten that and then move that into a file and stuff,
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I would say like when a client asks me to do that, I usually talk them out of it.
Good.
Just because the amount of time it takes, like I'd have to charge them a certain amount. And then also like, if you want to swap a color, it's not that easy too. And,
Yeah.
things like that. So
dude, I didn't know that you could export out an Illustrator file as a PSD until you posted the texturing thing. I was like, what?
Dude, that
I was always copy pasting as a smart image. And so I was just like, oh shit. Like, and it brings up the something we've talked about before. It's like you could know Illustrator and Adobe products like more than anybody, but there's still going to be that one little thing that that never got brought up. And so it's like what's cool about like your Instagram is that I've always been a fan of people who share their secrets, and I do my best to as well, but you actually put it on your Instagram, which I really admire. You do like the step by step, and it's really cool to me that you take the time to do that kind of stuff, like the texturing thing, like I brought up. You do a step by step. You go from Illustrator, then you say export out as a PSD, open it up in Instagram or in Instagram, open it up in Photoshop, and then you still have all those like layers and stuff. And it's like, it opened my eyes up. I was like, oh shit. But
dude, thanks, man. Like, I dedicated all of 2021 to make stuff like that. Just, and I mean, to be honest, for how long I've been doing Instagram, like, I don't know, 5 years or so. I was very hesitant to do that stuff, like to give people out secrets, because a lot of people tell you not to.
Yeah.
And there people will say, oh, it devalues you and it brings in more competition. But I found it to be like the complete opposite. Like it makes you more, it brings more people to you.
Yeah,
it gives
totally.
you more opportunities. You can sell a bunch of stuff. You can make courses and things. And like I realized too, like clients hire you because you're good, not because of a specific thing that you do. It's because they could see that you have this really good creative design brain.
Yeah,
that you can,
totally.
and you can problem solve and pretty much make anything.
Well, you're not just like getting followers who are also other designers. the people coming to you, they find it interesting too, seeing the process. And I think they trust you more because they know they can see a video or look up something of how you did it. So they're going to come to you because they actually trust that you have the know-how.
Yeah, knowing that you're not a robot behind the screen.
Yeah,
totally.
I think
that plays such a huge factor, especially with like today's authenticity. Just knowing that you're a real person and not just hiring you for your abilities, but also because they like you or they feel connected to you. I think that's so valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys full freelance right
Yeah.
now? Nice, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think it's been 2.5 years. I quit my job right before the pandemic started. But I felt the full force of the beginning of it. But it's freelance has been good to me. I think that making the jump was definitely the best decision I ever made in my life, because it's like always had issues with having like bosses and stuff. And I get bored real easily with anything else that's not like art. So
yeah. It's like the worst days when you're working somewhere is when you have nothing to do and you're in an office.
No, I know.
Like, those are the worst days,
dude. My job was. Oh, go on, Cole.
No, I was just gonna say you're just like toggling on the screen to make sure your boss, whenever he comes by, to know that you're like
I
not
know
just on Facebook or something.
Well, my old day job was sitting in an office doing advertising design, and it was just after 4 years of being at the same desk, looking out the same window, I was just like, oh, man, like I owe everything to that job, because it got me so much closer to the design industry than I was when I first got the job. When I first got the job, I was like, yeah, dude, I do graphic design and, here are my illustrations and this and that. And when I got the job, it was just all Photoshop and advertising. I was way out of my element. But 4 years of being in there, I was ready to fly away. I was miserable looking out that same window at the building that was a pizza place. Then it was a sports bar. Then it was a fucking pho place that I went to a lot.
You see life flash in front of your eyes.
It was, dude, it was like,
that's like a Disney movie.
Oh man.
No, for real. If I would have put a camera right there and just tracked the 4 year time lapsed it would have been crazy. But
I was at a point where I had that same thought. Like, I was talking to you earlier about the front end web development thing that is like, oh, this was not for me. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't know why I went back to school and paid another tuition for this thing, But yeah, when I quit and did freelance, I felt the same exact thing. And I thought, I was like, dude, I'll never work a day job again. Cause I've had good bosses. I mean, I don't want to talk crap about some of the really cool people I've met and stuff. Some of them sucked. Some of them were terrible.
Yeah.
But
not to talk shit, but they sucked.
You're like pointing at the screen and hashtagging and adding. Yeah. No.
But like, I mean, 2 years ago, that's why I moved to Austin. Cole, you were asking me what brought me to Austin. It was another job, and I never thought I would take another job before. And I just, I kind of flipped the coin on that one, because I was like really heavy into freelance, and then luckily, like the boss. It's really all about the boss, when you're working somewhere, and luckily I have a really cool boss over here that kind of makes me work freelance style, if that makes sense.
That's cool.
Where I could work. I could sleep in and then maybe work really late at night if I have to, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay, so you control your own hours. Yeah. Essentially.
Unless there's something that has to be done,
Yeah.
But I think that's for anyone who's like been in the freelance space for a while, and regardless if you go back to a job or not, it's more like you now know there are some criterias in what you need, which I think is super important. And maybe that's like flexibility in schedule, or maybe that's structured something, whatever it is. Yeah. And then that way you have like a negotiating piece when you're going into your next job interview. Cause I scroll on LinkedIn all the time and see what's out there, and it's tempting. You're like, maybe I'll go back to do an office job. But if I do, I'm not doing this, I'm only doing this. And if you want me to work for you, like you got to do that. Right. So then at least you get these ground rules that you're never going to go back step.
Yeah. Right. I don't think I could ever go back to not doing freelance, or at least like, I don't know. I just,
dream company, dream brand. Let's call it X, right?
Okay,
Ask you
okay.
to work for them as head designer. You have your own flexible hours.
Shit.
You can sleep in as you want, and you can come in when you want. And they give you a number that you can't refuse. Are you going to say no to the job?
Probably not.
You know
especially
what
with
I'm saying?
especially
There's
with this last holiday season and how much money spent on like Christmas and stuff.
Yeah, you get structured pay, which is great.
Structured pay. Yeah, if I can go a holiday without being as broke as I was just like 2 weeks ago, yeah, any number could not refuse.
You know what's really?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Cole.
No, you go.
I was saying what's really cool is that when you work in freelance for a while and then you have these things that you love about freelance that you can't get at the workplace, you can bring that stuff up in the interview.
Yeah.
Especially if they call you to hire you, like if they headhunt you and then they fly you out somewhere to talk to you in an interview, you can literally tell them anything that would make things work for,
First thing they can say is no. You know?
Yeah.
And then you continue to do what you've always been wanting to do anyways. And that, it's like, you have all the power when your position in life is good currently, and it can only get better. You can only ask, and then either you receive it or you just
totally
your part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then that gives leverage in any business negotiation. It's like always make sure that you have multiple like avenues, because the desperate person who like needs the money and needs a job and has no other options are the ones that are going to settle for that like bottom end thing that
right
you hate and look out the window and watch pizza joints turn into faux places. And
I love how you went full circle with that.
I think everyone wants this. Everyone would really love to see like a bit of your process. If we can pull up some of your past works or current works, whatever you feel comfortable with, and we can kind of talk through it and chat.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Oh, you want me to bring them up? That's pretty odd. Can you see?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you all see?
Can.
Okay, what do we want to talk about here?
Dude,
Oh, you want me to pick it, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about this real quick.
All right, great.
Yeah, please.
So, Cam, you were saying earlier about like that whole cool thing about exporting from Illustrator. You put your layers, right? And you export it into Photoshop, and all your layers are organized the same.
Yeah.
It works with Procreate too.
Oh.
So you can export it as a PSD and open that in Procreate, and that's how I made this.
You're fucking lying. That's gonna be a game changer.
Right? Is that And so I can even bring up that last. So yeah, I use this. What's it? You guys know Adam Grayson? He's an illustrator.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he made this. Him and Suzanne Sarver, I think is her name. They made this. I just want to give the proper credits.
Yeah, of course.
They made this brush, the Gauche shader brush, and I like it when the grain is really thick.
Yeah.
So
super cool.
I made this based off of a Super Nintendo game that I really liked, and I also like Formula One, and I kind of combined them together. But the process behind that, we can bring that up really quick. Is this texturing thing right here. This is exactly I did this whole thing in Procreate. I said here I did it in Photoshop because you can do it in Photoshop, but I actually did this one in Procreate.
Nice.
Sketch. I made everything in Illustrator, all flat shapes. It's a very simple. You see it really doesn't look like anything special at this point. But all of the layers here are organized from Illustrator and then moved into Photoshop. And then you can get each layer. Oh, actually, before that, I lined everything to make everything look like it's handmade in the edges.
Yeah.
And then after that, I established a light source. It tells you where the light hits your object.
And that's something that not a lot of people really think of. Like I have that in my head, obviously wherever like the light source is, but that's such an important piece of information to tell designers. Like it only adds that much more to the design when the light source is coming from the right direction.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's I think like in my Skillshare course, I think I spend half of the course talking about lighting.
Yeah.
And I tell everyone to practice with a 1-point light system, like where light's only coming from one direction, because it makes it really easy to tell you where to make shadows and where to make highlights and stuff.
Totally.
Like this, yeah, like this right here. The light's coming from the top left corner, which means the top left corner of all the objects that's where the light's going to be the brightest, and then if you move more to the bottom right hand corner, and that's where the shadows will go.
I'm
so
curious,
that's it. I really just paint the highlights off the edges. I add some of these hard shines to make things feel shiny.
So crazy.
But yeah, that was all in Procreate.
Such
Illustrator
a cool way to show people your process. Like this is so helpful.
It's insane.
I'm really curious. Are you self-taught, or like you said you went to design school. Was that the beginning of learning these programs for you?
That was like I haven't touched any of the Adobe programs until I went to design school.
Okay.
But I mean, like I said, I used to draw Dragon Ball Z stuff. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
right.
Yeah.
I had an idea of how to draw things. I was never a great drawer, and I still wouldn't call myself a great drawer. I rely heavily on like shape building and things like that.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I do so much. References are my life. If I don't have a reference, then I'm lost.
Yeah.
But I asked the question about being self-taught or whether you had learned through like schooling or whatever, mainly because when I started, I knew nothing and I just picked up from the ground, and I didn't even use YouTube. I was just figuring out Illustrator, and I have like the most unconventional way of making artwork that like I can't even like teach other people how I do it, because it's just not the right way. And your layers, I think layers in general like is something so key that the really, really professional people use layers. Like that's like the way to do art in Illustrator. Use the layers. I do not use layers. Like my artboards and everything are so messed up. It's crazy. Like the way that the final result happens, I don't know, but I'm happy with it at the end of each day.
When you first mentioned that, it blew my mind because I couldn't work without layers.
And so especially with this style that Micheal does, though, is that each shape needs to be on its own layer, right? Because then you're going to draw inside of each shape and use the texturing, right? So I just want to say basically how I could never do this.
Oh man,
I'm kidding, but it makes me want to, because I've been seeing all these tutorials like yours and how people are using these brushes inside of shapes, and it makes like the coolest thing. Like, can we go to this one, 2 to the left, the one that says designer tips on Illustrator? Designer?
Yeah.
Because you show like how you could draw in a shape, and in that you're having all these cool textures, and I think it's so cool, and it's something that I would love to bring into my works. So it's
heck yeah, dude. I just realized, oh man, I'm sorry, I'm not a very organized person. I have a ton of tabs open on my
It's okay.
I don't think you're a designer if you don't have like 16 tabs open at all time.
I'll just say that's the first thing I noticed.
Man, yeah. I'm the type of person that like when a client asks me for an old file, it'll take me like 3 days to find it.
That's so funny.
What's the quote? It's like you have 16 tabs open at all times and don't know where the music's coming from.
That's hilarious.
You have to like look for the teeny little audio icon.
Yeah, exactly.
So you want me to scrub through this one right here?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, yeah. So I made this. I think, you know what? We were talking about styles earlier, right? I made this to kind of like to tell people that you don't really have to focus on one style. You can make a ton of different things, and then and it kind of just goes into that. It tells everybody that, hey, I was a web designer, dudes, and then I went into illustration, and I broke it down into learning these 4 styles right here, like a flat style, and I think I called this like building Legos. It's like shape building. You just put a bunch of shapes on top of each other and slice the edges, like with that Fruit Ninja tool where you like slice them, and then this granular thing is what we just talked about with that Adam Grazin brush, and then there's a line style, and then here's that like the skeuomorphic style. So I go through each one. So this one's like, it's just made with all shapes. I don't think I even had a sketch for this one. It was just a bunch of I was like, I'll draw a circle and a bunch of circles and a bunch of rectangles, and it, it happened to be that after I sliced everything up. And then, yep, that's what we talked about earlier. This is the line style, which is like, it's very friendly, right, for merch and pins and things like that.
Yeah.
And then this is that ski more. Is this the DeLorean one you were talking about?
Yeah.
before?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is so good.
So yeah, this one, actually, I think I might have broken this down even more in the past. Hold on, let me bring that up really quick, bros.
Yeah, that way we can show people what I had seen. I was
Oh,
like,
right
all the way
here.
back.
So I made this vector bug the same way I made a DeLorean. And if I scroll through this right here, it's like when you look at this, it's like, holy shit, I don't want to do that.
Crazy.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you have so many different layers and shapes and styles.
Yeah, dude. And then like when I go to the when I take one piece of it, like the wheel right here,
Yeah,
that's when it becomes like a little more accessible. And then
maybe just like the hubcap.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I get you. No, I love how you bring it into like even more. I mean, this is amazing.
Oh man, yeah. So like if you make it flat, right? It's just that it's that same like Lego building thing I was talking about earlier. And you add a few gradients to it to establish the lighting. Another thing is I light everything from the top left-hand corner. Every illustration piece I do is the lights coming from the top left-hand corner. It just makes it easier for me to power through them,
For sure.
Yeah.
And then after that, you add in the more highlights, and then it doesn't look bad in this like hard shaped style right here. But when you soften it up, that's when it starts looking a bit more realistic.
Hell yeah.
And if that was too daunting right there, there's a simple way to put it right here. It's like
that's basically if you can just learn how to do it with the circle, that trick that we'll be able to use for every shape that you have moving forward. It's almost like just practice on the simple, and once you have that just dialed, then you'll start building on top of it, and one day become like Micheal if you can.
Now, are you? Is this still all in Illustrator?
Yeah, this is 100% in Illustrator, and then I did get someone called me out for using Gaussian blur within Illustrator. Because the reason why I do that is because I just like how it looks more than like
more than Photoshop.
Mesh.
Yeah.
Called you out in like a negative way?
Huh?
Did you say call you out? Like
I guess technically it wouldn't be a vector if I used
Gaussian
blur within Photoshop.
Who cares?
But the thing is, like, it's still infinitely scalable. So that was my whole point. It's like whether you call it a vector or not, you can scale it infinitely.
Yeah,
regardless.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
So when you hit it with a Gaussian blur, do you put it in a clipping mask so it doesn't get outside of that circle?
Sometimes I don't. Okay, sometimes I like the glow that comes out of the shape, but yeah, most of the time you're right. I do clip it. To make sure it doesn't. And you have to separate those blurs into layers because it's really easy to like click on it and you can't see where the shape is. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, that's how that style goes. And you can
so sick.
Yeah, like this, like I think my computer ran this bug no problem. And like, and it was like a 2013 MacBook Pro. So
gotcha.
It ran that no problem. The DeLorean, that was a different story though, because it had all those parts inside.
Yeah, that would imagine.
Can we scroll down to that? I think it was all the way in like 2018.
Oh yeah, man. Damn, that's how long I've been doing this stuff.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm sure your computer almost blew up.
Yeah, and
you had made one even before. I mean, it's the same one. I think you just made this one like look like it motion, right?
Yeah. Oh shoot, yeah. This is when I made it all AR and stuff.
Yeah, holographic.
Oh, come on.
Oh, there's a vector piece. Yeah. Like this right here drove my computer insane. Like this right there. But you're talking about, that's right. A trick. Here's an Instagram trick. Just reshare your stuff after
sure.
After some amount of time.
There it is.
Yeah.
I feel like this just blew up the internet, and so did your NASA piece.
Mm-hmm.
There's multiple NASA. There's multiple like rocket ship ones, but there's one in particular. I'll let you know.
Was it?
It was in a triangle.
Well, was it like old? Like a long time ago?
It could have been. Oh, there's one NASA one.
Oh, I see. I see what you're talking about. This one right here?
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one, dude, yeah. This one, like, I think was one of the first things that got shared everywhere, I think.
Yeah. That
And,
thing just exploded.
Yeah. It exploded to the point where people got sick of it. Like you would go to like you would go to like I don't know, Design Tip or something on Instagram,
Yeah.
and you're like, you're sharing this again, you know, like I've seen this a
Every
million times.
single page. shared it.
Wow.
It was crazy.
What a bad problem to have.
Well, because I mean,
man.
your following grew like exponentially, very, very fast.
Oh,
Yes. Right.
It did. I think it did in the beginning, like after this.
Like,
Yeah, and then like I think once I started the paper stuff, that's when it really
just blew up.
it
Again.
really took off. Yeah.
Nice.
And then I have to thank my intern, who's not, dude, and she is not my intern anymore. You know, obviously. I mean, I hope so. After how many years? And then like, but she's doing her own thing, and then yeah, she's blowing up on Instagram right now.
What's her name?
Karen. Wait a minute. Her name is Karen. There it is.
Hi,
There it is right
Karen.
there.
Shout out Karen.
So
Oh, she's very good.
yeah, okay, when I was like teaching her how to do stuff, she was like asking me how to do, like, she was like, what do you call that? All the vector skeuomorphic stuff and then the paper stuff. And she said she wanted to do things exactly like that. I'm like, dude, but you're so good at this like hand painted look. You know what I mean? Like, why not just run with that? She's like super awesome with color, super awesome with I don't even know what paint tools she uses. I guess this is it. I guess that's it.
There you go.
Like she's really good with this stuff. I was like, why not just double down on that, and then you can do the exploration on the skeuomorphic and paper stuff on the side. And that's exactly what she did, and she ended up growing. And yeah, she even has this Kickstarter thing, and she made that. Like not a lot of people have made their own toy for people and stuff.
That's so cool, dude.
Well,
shout out Karen. That's awesome.
Yo, what's up, Karen?
Let's talk about either Skillshare or Adobe Max, whichever one came first, and how did that feel getting approached by those?
Yeah. Well, a big initiative of mine last year was to give a bunch of educational content out. I really think I haven't made one real new illustration last year. Like I think they were all like reshares and stuff, and most of it was making tutorials and things.
Okay.
And I don't know, I guess that's kind of how my brain works. I have to like focus on one direction at a time. I know that's might not be the best thing to do, but
for sure.
But so the first one was Skillshare. They actually approached me in 2019 to do a Skillshare. And then it was going to be one of those ones where like Draplin or DKNG did, where like they fly you to their studio and then they film the whole thing.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
So it was going to be like that. And they still offered it to be that way, but then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Because I was the one that was taking a long time. I was like, oh, I can't do it yet. And then the pandemic hit, and they're like, okay, we can't fly anybody. So the project is on hold. And I was like, wait, well, you know what? I have all the equipment here. I have a camera here. I have all the stuff here. I can do it myself. And they were telling me, if I do it that way, it'll be put into a different category, which is like, it's called the staff picks category, which means I guess they do it that way to tell people that they didn't shoot and produce and edit it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. The other way was like that's called like a Skillshare original, kind of like a Netflix original. Yeah,
kind of like what they do with Draplin, like it's all hyper produced, and he's walking through boxes that say field notes on it and shit like that.
Yeah.
And, okay.
Like some people like actually asked me, like some other people that were approached by Skillshare, like which one should they do if they were given the option. I would say if you have somewhat of a following, go for the staff pick, because you get paid royalties that way. rather than
That's
just
cool.
one big lump fee. Although your fee will be a lot smaller, so it's like
Gotcha.
more towards the. But if you
Yeah.
have people that you
awesome.
can market your course to, definitely go the royalty route.
Okay.
That's interesting.
So
It is interesting. I never thought it would be like that, but
yeah, there's just well, they can correct. I guess they could. No, yeah.
Now that you
Yeah.
gave out all the secrets, they
Hey,
just
yeah.
down. Yeah.
That's funny.
I mean, it's good. These are all things that are just so like, different from what people would really understand or know before
Yeah.
getting into it. And if they're able to have like a little heads up before getting into these type of spaces, then that will help them, which is great.
Yeah, and there's these other platforms like Domestika is one that's blowing up too. I think those are the two main ones, Domestika and Skillshare. Yeah, I would definitely go for Skillshare. I think they have the bigger base right now, but
Yeah.
if you have the opportunity to do those, actually, I would say even if you didn't have a following, it's still very useful. You just get your buddies to to market it for you, and
Yeah, for sure.
it's just like free money every not free. Well, it's like about 2 weeks of work, and you get money every month for it.
Yeah. And if you'd like 2 free weeks of Skillshare, shoot me an email. I'll give you my link.
Oh!
I know. I have Skillshare. I've used it a lot. I haven't used it in a while, but yeah, I have that set up to where if you want 2 free weeks, shoot me an email. I'll give you a link.
Hey. Yeah. But yeah, the process was, I didn't realize how hard it is to make a course.
Sure. Yeah, because you have to break it up into like sections and episodes and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
especially the thing like I was telling you, Cole, the other day, like how hard it was to do a live demonstration of this because of how long it takes. Like to condense that to a course, that took a lot of problem solving too. Like if you check out the course, it's the same thing I did with that bug where I took a small piece of it and I made it, and then that's exactly how I did the paper illustration course. I took a small little piece, built it that way, and then we broke down the full file after that.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then I guess from that, they had a program at Adobe Max, Skillshare did, and they're like, hey, let's bring some of the Skillshare people over to Adobe Max, and that's how I did that one too.
Cool.
And simultaneously, I was doing a project with Adobe Aero, and they wanted someone to do something on Adobe Aero for Adobe Max, and that's where they brought me to do that stuff.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Is it just like a surreal feeling, like the people at Adobe reaching out to you and go, hey, do you want to like do a course and all that stuff? Like for me, that would feel unreal. Like I've used their programs forever, and it's like to be that good and attract the attention of the Adobe people, that would just be such a surreal feeling.
It did feel awesome. Like yeah, I was super grateful for I have a huge story for that too.
No, cool.
No, because like I had so much personal stuff happening at the time, you know what I mean? And then like I think the deadline for Adobe Max was like around September, because they need like a whole month, to, and then it's like all this family stuff was happening, and I'm like, shoot, I can't do it. And then it gets to like a weekend before Max, and I still haven't started yet.
Oh no.
Because of all this stuff that was happening. I was keeping in contact with them and telling them what was going on.
Yeah.
And they were like, I was like, you know what, we should probably cancel it. And they're like, bro, you can't cancel it, dude. You have like 80,000 people signed up for your Adobe Max thing. So you gotta, they're like, please, can you pull through with this thing? And no, like I'm like forever grateful to that Adobe team. They were up late with me to finish that stuff. And they're like the most gracious people out there, and then
That's
super
awesome.
hard work, super hard workers too. And I was, I offered to send them like Texas barbecue, and I think half of them didn't eat meat in that team. So I was like, oh shoot. So like, and then but
oh my god,
no,
that's so funny.
That Adobe Max team, they're super on it, and
that's cool, man.
I'm pretty sure I put them in a world of pain for a little bit there too.
That's cool to hear, because like they could have easily just been like, dude, fuck off, like we're gonna take our money back, and
Yeah.
do all that stuff. But they worked with you. They understood your family situation. I totally get why they were like, can you just like please pull through? Like I totally get that. But for them to
Yeah.
be gracious enough to like work with you and to be patient
Right.
like that, like I said, they could have just told you to fuck off.
Yeah, dude. And like, I'd say, they mentioned the whole 80,000 people that signed up for it. Even if it was like 500 people or 100 people, I'm pretty sure they would still be like, hey,
Mhm.
we need you to do this,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And well deserved. I mean, people want to see your work, and it's really cool to watch little tidbits of it. And so it was just, it's awesome that it ended up happening. I mean, it's really, you're so talented in what you do, but you've also just done an amazing job of packaging it for beginning designers and showing people how you work. And even that is a talent in itself. Like you said, you had to figure out ways of dumbing it down and figuring out how people can digest it properly. So I think everyone who's seen a Skillshare or who has seen a process video definitely appreciates it.
Yeah, man, it definitely gave me more confidence to do more teaching stuff. I think people like my I would call it like a dumbed down style. Like I like to dumb things down.
Yeah,
it's my kind of style.
You get taught the ABCs, and then you got to figure out how to spell or talk, right? So it's
man.
I don't like those super serious. I don't like those super serious like tutorials where it's like, and this is how you use the pen tool. I like a little bit more personality, and fun and stuff like that.
Heck yeah, dude.
Learning
the funny thing too, that Adobe Max thing, right? It was under the Adobe Aero banner, I think. Like it was in their section of Max, but like 90% of the thing was Illustrator and Photoshop, and then the very last like 10% was Aero. So in the live chat, whatever, they're like, "What the fuck is this, dude? Where's all the Aero stuff?" But at the very, I was telling him throughout the whole course, I'm like, guys, the Aero part is easy. It takes about 5 minutes to do.
Okay.
But it's more about like building the composition that would fit right in Aero.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. I just thought that was pretty funny. They were like, "Yeah, this is not an Aero course. What is this, Illustrator for beginners?"
That's hilarious.
I was seeing all like the trolls come in, and then like eventually towards the end, the trolls started fading away, and then I just remember sweating that whole live chat. I'm like,
"Oh, dude, I would have been so distracted."
Yeah,
80,000 people. I mean, that's a lot of eyes. And
I think it was 80,000 people that signed up. I think only about like 20,000 people.
Even if it was 100, I mean, can you imagine 100 people behind your desk watching you draw a picture?
That just makes my skin crawl thinking about it.
I mean, me and Cam did a live with logo inspirations, and I was completely drenched under each of my armpits.
Were you? Okay.
Oh my!
I didn't know that. I felt pretty cool. Like I don't know. I guess that's the social butterfly in me. Is like I like when people are watching, but a small amount of people. Like how many people do we have in the logo inspiration? Yeah, a few hundred, but like 80,000 people. Oh, dude, I'd freak the fuck out.
Well, you know what? So Adobe Max was pre-recorded. That's why.
Okay.
That's the stuff that was taking me forever to do.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, that makes sense.
Making a whole other Skillshare course to be on Adobe Max. But you have to be present there for the live chat.
Oh, so you can like interact with the chats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And I think that was the right call. So that
totally
all the technical difficulties and stuff. They just have to play a video and
That's smart. That's good.
Well,
that was insane. That was an insane October, and I got another Aero project coming out in like 2 weeks.
Oh, cool.
Aero and NASA collab. Actually, I don't think NASA's involved in it, but like, it's
for sure.
It'll be pretty sick.
Yeah, we'll be keep an eye out for that, and we'll promote it on the Instagram.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
share it.
As a good end to this, it'd be great to hear about where everyone can go find you on social and where their Skillshare, where they can find your Skillshares, or tell everybody where they can go.
Yeah, you can find me on Skillshare. Well, if you know my Instagram handle, Fugstrator, Fugstrator. I think I spelled that right. It should be the same handle on all the outlets that I do on Skillshare. on Twitter that I never use, and it's mainly Instagram and Skillshare right now. And you can find me on Adobe Max too.
Hell yeah.
You can watch the replay on their website as well. And
That's epic.
Hell yeah, man.
Cool.
Dude, it was so good having you on the podcast. Super fun. I like your
fun, Michael.
I like your personality. It's kind of goofy like mine, and I like it. So
heck yeah, dude. We should do a part 2 and 3.
I'm so down.
Absolutely.
Well, definitely have to have you back.
You're always welcome.
Heck yeah, dudes.
You want to leave us with like a good piece of advice or learning lesson or a good takeaway or maybe even a joke, up to you on which you'd like to provide.
Oh, okay. Okay, my biggest lesson? A lesson. Okay, a lesson.
Yeah, sure.
There we go.
I'd say like learn to trust yourself, get to a point where you can trust yourself the most, your judgment the most, and as far as design goes. Because I think regardless if it's your clients or if it's for yourself, like your clients listen to you more if you're, if you know what you're doing, and when you trust yourself and you have confidence in that, then that'll take you a long way. So I think just getting to the point where you can, it's not about asking people for advice and mentorships anymore, and it's more about like, I got this type thing. Like work as hard as you can to get to that point, rather than, because the reason why I say that is I get a lot of people asking me about mentorships and stuff like that. All that stuff is cool, but it gets to the point where you have to ride the ship on your own. You know what I mean? And
for sure.
So I would say focus on that rather than being an apprentice to somebody.
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself.
There you go,
man. Like, you got the skills. You guys got it.
I love that. That's
you got the skills. Share it.
Skills.
Oh man. Well, thank you, Michael. It's an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for being a pal, Michael.
Thank you for being a pal.
Heck, a pal, a Pentool Pal. Heck yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for being a pal.
What's up, pals? Thank you so much for watching another episode of Pentool Pals. It's 2022 now, and what better time to like and subscribe to our channel, share, all that stuff. It's good for the channel. It's good for you. Yeah, it's good for you. You need it. You need to subscribe. Thanks.